welcome back to my channel. Welcome back to my account. Right. Firstly, I would like to thank you guys your support. I can see day by day my followers they are increasing. There by Facebook subscribers they are increasing. There by YouTube, TikTok. I'm so happy, guys. Thank you very much. And also, I just want to thank you guys when it comes to textbook. All right, you guys, you are number one. The way you are purchasing textbook, you are purchasing that textbook like you are purchasing groceries. Right? Why? Because you understand the value, right? The value of having a source, right? Hanzi kunzwane kuita. From that video that I was explaining the importance of having a right source. So most of you are taking from that concept, so which is very good. You need to have the right source. We are going to say that when you are doing accounting, once you have the right source, everything will become what? Will become simple. Everything will become easy. Right. And also, I would like to thank those who donated, those who are donating for towards my what? Towards my equipment. Remember, some of you were raising a concern that the quality is not that good. Quality of my videos. Yes, it's very true. The quality is not good. The quality that I'm using. Why? Because of my phone that I'm using. So there are some of you learners who donated, right, towards the what? Towards the equipment. Remember, we said the equipment. The person who did some the quotation for the equipment said 15,500, including a nice phone, including lighting, light equipment, like everything, stands, everything. It will become a studio. Very nice. So yes, donations are still open. If you want to donate, you can come to my inbox and ask for account number or the link where you can donate. Right. So the donation, they are still open. If you want to donate towards the equipment, you are very free. You are welcome to do so. And I'm going to share all the receipts and everything in the group. Right. So thank you very much. So in today's video, I just want to quickly do this topic called what? Called accounting equation. So today I want to do the accounting equation. The accounting equation. Right. The accounting equation. The accounting equation. Right. So when it comes to accounting equation, what you need to know that we have what? We have three types of accounting equation. The first equation that we have is to calculate capital, right? So how do we calculate capital? Capital is equals to assets minus liabilities. So this is our first accounting equation. So this accounting equation, from this accounting equation, we can come up with two other accounting equations to calculate assets. Right. So it means asset will be what? So it means we take liabilities here. So it means asset will be capital plus liabilities. Right. Then number 3 is to calculate liabilities. So how do we calculate liabilities? If you take these liabilities here, it will be assets minus capital. So these are 3 accounting equations that we have. So mostly what they do in exam, they'll bring these accounting equation in paper 1. Which of the following is true? Capital is equals to liabilities minus assets. Assets is equals to capital minus liabilities. So you end up selecting wrong answers because you don't know these formulas. So you need to know the correct formula. How do we calculate capital? How do we calculate assets? How do we calculate liability? So what they do in paper 1, paper 2 now, or in paper 1, they can give you transaction, then they say calculate capital. They can give you transaction, then they say calculate assets. They can give you transaction, then they say calculate liabilities. So the main problem that we have with our kids, the main problem that we have with you, Wabantarisaiwo, is even if you know this formula that capital is equals to assets minus liabilities, if you don't know examples of liabilities, if you don't know examples of assets, at the end you are going to fail. So the formula itself will be nothing to you because you don't know examples of assets, you don't know examples of liabilities. That's why I always say you need to have background because this is from introduction to accounting. Right, so I'm just going to go through what are assets, what are liabilities, examples of that. So capital, what is capital? Capital, this is the money or anything used to start a business, right? So don't just define capital as the money used to start a business. Remember, we can start a business with various things besides money. You can start your business. Let's say you want to start what? You want to start a what is this? A driving school. You can start using your car if you have a car. So is that money? No, but you are using an asset. So when you define capital, capital is money or anything used to start a business, right? So that's capital. Then assets. Assets, these are business belongings. These are business belongings. So these business belongings are divided into two. We have current assets and non-current assets. So in general, assets, these are business belongings, something that belongs to the business. So these business belongings are grouped into two. We have current assets and non-current assets. So when it comes to current assets, when it comes to non-current assets, they are also called fixed assets, right? These are business belongings that can stay longer in the business, right? Any business belonging that can stay longer for more than a year is called a non-current asset or a fixed asset. When it comes to current assets now, these are business belongings that cannot last longer in a business, that cannot not last for more than a year in a business. And also, you can define current assets as business belongings that can easily converted back into cash form. So examples of current asset, we have bank, cash at bank, cash in hand, inventory, we have trade receivables, which is the same as debtors. Those are examples of current asset. Sorry, I did not give you example of non-current asset. We have furniture, we have land and buildings, we have equipment, motor vehicle, buses, lorries. It depends with the type of business that you are running. So now we now know what are assets, examples of two categories of assets and their examples. Then when it comes to liabilities, these are business obligations, repair it, right? These are business obligations, and we have two groups also of liabilities. We have what we call current liabilities and non-current liabilities. When it comes to current liabilities, these are business obligations that needs to be paid within a year, right? These are also short-term liability. So another name for current liability is called short-term liabilities. So in other words, we are saying these are business obligations that need to be paid within a year. Then we also have non-current liabilities. These non-current liabilities, we also call them what? Long-term liabilities. These are business obligations that need to be paid over a year, right? So examples of long-term liabilities, we have debenture loan, we have long-term loan, we have bond, we have mortgage. Examples of current liabilities, we have creditors, which is the same as trade payables. We have bank overdraft. We have owings. We have short-term loan. Right, those are examples of current liabilities. So I now hope that everyone is now aware of the definition of capital, definition of assets, definition of liabilities, and examples. So what is important when it comes to these uh, um, three accounting questions? You need to know how to calculate capital, assets, and liabilities. And for you to be able to do that, especially in paper 1, if they bring that question, or in paper 2, you need to know examples. Vana vazhinji vanofira pakutadza kuziva ma-examples ema-assets. Because what they do in exam, they'll give you just a list of assets, of capital, of liabilities, of income, of expenses. Then they will say calculate capital. So you end up putting expenses, you end up putting income there. Why? Because you don't know examples of assets and liabilities. So it is very, very important to go back, right, to your Form 1 work, where you were doing introduction to accounting, where you were doing definition of accounting terms. I know that your teacher also includes examples of each and every aspect there. So handiti harisiri kuti mwana ari form 4 ari form 3 aakuda kunyora this year or next year atadze type yekungo this type of question yekungozi calculate capital, assets, liabilities, simply because I have some examples. So what I want us to do, where most of learners paanofoirira handiti where most of learners fail, right? Effects here, effects of transactions to the accounting equation. Ndo panofira vazhinji apa, ende ndo panodiwawo nemaexaminer. They know that this one is very easy. Then here